They like the chaos.
They like the chaos. So when you're able to
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with.
Must reign.
Welcome again to another session, another debate here on the Chaos Rain Show. I am Chaos Rain here. And I see a brother say he's a purple pill. Don't worry, my good friend. You will soon be red pill very soon. Maybe after this. Maybe not. The links to follow me are in the description below. No further ado, let's begin. As you know, this is the red pill debate. Andrew versus Rafael Gomez of what is called the what's this podcast? What's this podcast? Woman Unmet. Yes. No further ado, let's roll a tape. Fair use. Enjoy.
Consistently show that red pill communities promote hostile sexism, dehumanize women, and radicalize male pain into misogyny. And to top it off, it's not helping them date either. Men who endorse red pill beliefs report higher levels of loneliness, romantic dissatisfaction, and psychological distress. But the consequences are real and deadly. Just a short drive from this studio, Elliot Rodger murdered 6 people at UC Santa Barbara with the manifesto filled with hatred for women.
Now, he should not be saying the M word. He's supposed to say delete. But, you know, this guy is not a content creator. So what does he knows about expression of language? So we do apologize. Let's go.
Don't do that.
Don't do what?
Don't do the manifesto. Don't do that for YouTube purposes. Like, just skip that part. Or maybe
Okay.
cloak the
You already
language.
made the point. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. And he became a martyr for red pill communities, a symbol of what happens when male pain festers into violence. For all the lectures about female nature and alpha dominance, red pill men aren't forming real relationships. They're staying single, bitter, and stuck. The more they consume this content, the worse their life gets. Not because women changed, but because they did. In the end, it leaves them lonely, angry, and blaming everyone but the ideology that failed them. Just this week, Andrew called red pill creators degenerates for pushing casual sex, discouraging marriage, and obsessing over status. Yet here he is today, defending that same ecosystem. He also said that the divide between men and women is a good thing, because he believes women will cave first. Andrew wants to keep that division wide because it serves his personal crusade to eradicate feminism, even if it means sacrificing the well-being of the very men he claims to protect. That's my opening statement.
Okay. So I'll respond. A few things. By the way, my name is Andrew Wilson. I'm the host of The Crucible. Welcome to actually, thank you guys for having me, especially the Whatever podcast chat. Always nice to be back with you guys. And, of course, the Crucible crew. Thank my opponent for coming out as well for this. So the first thing is you mentioned that the red pill is poison and women are enemies, adversaries. I think that you're making a very classic mistake that many people make, which is that you're associating content creators and their views with what the red pill is. And so maybe we can get in what you think the red pill actually is.
Sure.
So you say that the red pill is making men stay single and stay miserable, et cetera, et cetera. We can get into that too. I actually didn't say that red pillars were degenerates, and I'm guessing that you're referencing the Pearl Davis debate.
No, you said this on your channel. You were talking to a gentleman on your own channel. I can't remember. He was talking on an iPad. You didn't like the sound. It was something you posted, I think, Tuesday.
Okay, yeah. So there are a lot of degenerates who are red pillars, but I wouldn't make the claim that the red pill to me is just a descriptive packet. And you say that Andrew wants feminism to be destroyed at the expense of men. It's the opposite. I want feminism to be destroyed because I think that protects and helps and assists men. So I'm talking about a gender divide. What I'm disassociating is that there needs to be, when I say gender divide, women in the role of female gender roles and men in the role of male gender roles. So that's the divide I'm looking at. No, I'm not looking at a divide of like men and women not being close to each other. I'm looking at the divide of I don't want sameness when it comes to gender roles because that's really bad and it does not suit society very well. So kind of with that, I'm happy to just kind of dive into whatever you want here.
Sure. So I know you say the red pill is kind of this ideology, but red pill,
Not an ideology.
whatever word you used,
It's a packet.
it's a
descriptor
data packet. I've heard you say that. I understand. But the only way that message is really disseminated is often through these big content creators. Most of the people come across the red pill from things like Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, this channel.
Before we continue, I'm going to show y'all, I guess, a manifesto this man, Mr. Rafael Gomez, has presented early into the stream for those that's not familiar. And as you guys come in, please like the stream. Let this be known that we're live on the algorithm. If you don't like the stream, you could dislike. It also does a negative engagement, but usually likes go much further to let people know I'm live. And sometimes when I'm seeing people watching, they'll skip through or don't press them. So please press the like button. I'm gonna read your comment in a second, Mr. Lopez. Let's keep going.
That's how that packet is distributed, and there are prescriptive messages.
How did they come
in that.
across it?
I don't know. The internet is the internet. The algorithm.
Do you think they made it up?
Do I think who made it up?
That those red pill creators that you're talking about, do you think that they just made all that stuff up?
No, I don't. I think there's too many similar messages for it to be made up.
Yeah, so there's like sources for this stuff, right?
Wherever they're sourcing it from, I'm not sure, but they're disseminating
so like one
it.
such source would be a guy, his name is Rollo Tomasi. The godfather of the red pill. He's going to be pissed that I said that because it's like an ongoing meme, but he calls it a praxeology, right? So if it's praxeological from his perspective, he's saying there's no prescriptions here, right? It's not designed around prescriptors. It's designed around descriptors. So if you're going to criticize the red pill, you should probably start by criticizing the descriptors. But if you wanted to criticize individual content creators for their prescriptions, I think that that's fine, but that's not the red pill. The red pill is a data packet of descriptions which are trying to express and explain interpersonal sexual dynamics between men and women.
I think the gentleman you mentioned, most people haven't heard of. I think most people
All
are
of them
getting.
have heard of them.
I think most of the people are getting their information from the millions of subscriptions to Fresh and Fit and whatever. And
Fresh and Fit, he goes on often. They have a very close
Myron Gaines, I'm
relationship.
sure, is much more popular than him.
Yeah, well, the thing is like, maybe, but Myron Gaines is not are you saying he's the red pill?
I think he's one of them.
Okay, so what is, let's start with that. What is the red pill?
I consider it content that claims to reveal the truth about women but promotes misogyny and male victimhood.
Okay.
I would have to disagree. Now, in regards to misogyny, the word misogyny has been used too loosely throughout the internet. I think there's more of a misogynoir more than misogyny in this West we call America, personally. Because there are very rare few men, if any, could be misogynist, for those that don't know. So I'm not sure what he means by it does promote misogyny. He's going to have to define that. And I found the PDF of something that he wrote out about this red pill stuff. I'll read it in a second. I'm going to let the videotape run out. Let's keep going.
So you think that the descriptors do that?
I think the content creators that are prescribing what the red pill is.
So it's about content creators.
Sure.
You just think that, so there's just content creators who you disagree with their message.
The majority of the red pill content creators, I disagree with their message.
Well, well, what's the majority? Like, how many do you think there are?
The most popular of the bunch. The ones that have the most viewers, subscribers.
Okay, so who are these guys that you're talking about?
Fresh and Fit is a big one. Andrew Tate is another one. And the
Okay.
Whatever Podcast is another one.
Fresh Fit.
But you're on the podcast, what's called Whatever Podcast. So if this was so misogynistic and this is so red pill, why are you on this podcast? Are you trying to get clout here, Mr. Rafael Gomez? Because it's not a good job you're doing this. Let's keep going.
Tate and whatever. So here's an easy one. I guess let's start with whatever because I'm pretty familiar with the content here. So what is the message that's being put out there?
There's a lot of misogynistic messages that come out of this podcast, and
Let's start with
several
what
lists.
is misogyny?
Misogyny is the hatred or dislike of women, the active dislike of women.
Plural women.
Yeah, correct. The entire gender.
So not the active dislike of a woman.
No, not typically.
So it's just women.
Yeah.
Okay. So misogyny is the active hatred or dislike of women.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
And Fresh and Fit is another big
No,
helper to that.
Let's start with whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what is the misogyny or the dislike of women, which is promoted on this channel?
It's presented as a dating podcast, but it's really not. The topics that typically come up on
Let's
this
start with
podcast.
that. What makes it not a dating podcast?
I'm about to go into that.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
A dating podcast should not discuss whether or not women should be submissive, whether women should vote. On Sunday's show, you ask women how many pumps after they tell you to stop is it grape. That's not a dating podcast. That's one of the craziest questions I've ever heard. You basically say divorce hurts men, marriage is pointless. I don't know how that's helping your audience. I don't know how military conscription has anything to do with a dating podcast. I don't know how, guests being shown a submissive ex-girlfriend and saying, would you bow to your husband? Would you bow to your husband? That's not a dating podcast. That is promoting hatred of women and misogyny.
So you're saying telling women to bow is hatred of women? That's not really actually true. If a man comes out the blue said hating to what do they call that shit again? To bow down, that's not really considered hatred. I mean, he just asking her, will you bow down to me? Now, you could be like any logical human being, say no and walk off. What's weird saying about all this is human beings got intelligence. If there's something you don't like, you will say kindly, no, thank you, and walk off. If you find any man or woman using terms of what they consider, what's the word? Servitude. That's the first thing that comes to mind, but I don't know. Is that D Darrell? Is that you, D Darrell? Let me know it's you in the chat room, brother.
As well. Female guests are pressured to reveal their body count and then mocked. If they don't reveal, they're interrogated until they reveal. Women with OnlyFans are moralized and told to quit. Male promiscuity is excused and celebrated.
Yes, well, I'm gonna say this: you're not supposed to have the OnlyFans, sweetie. If you got OnlyFans showing your feet, your chest, your box, yes, you are considered a whoo, because you asking random dudes and probably ladies, because ladies buy subscription OnlyFans, to pay service to see your body. That you're prostituting yourself. So I'm sorry, that's not a no-no. All right, let's go.
Women are asked about their peak looks, age, and questioned incessantly. Segments like Man, Bear versus Woods mock women's very real fears about male violence, even though statistical realities are ignored and dismissed as irrational. The super chat roast.
With the Bear and Man argument, I'm going to say this again until it gets to the jargons of people that hears my voice. You live in a very unpredictable, violent world where men and women, especially men, control and dictate violence to solve problems. You're not going to escape the nature of man and women when they engage in violence. And I said men and women because women are just as violent, and probably in the West more violent if we're not careful as men, because there's no consequence when they engage in violent actions. So when we hear this narrative that they choose either the bear than the man, you are mentally ill and you don't understand how the goddamn world really works. You accept that as is and you move with caution, with grace, and you move like you have something on your sleeve to let some person try to attempt to engage violence towards you. And you do the best you can. That is my solution for those that have this so-called fear of man and bear. Let's continue.
The guests love to shit on these women every chance they get. And on this show, feminism and women are blamed for most of men's problems.
Can I have do you have a copy of that? I'd like to see it, the thing. Because you just shotgunned a bunch of points, and Andrew, you want
Yeah, I
to
would
go
You
like
can
to-
have it.
Yeah,
one
yeah.
by one?
I also have peer-reviewed studies if you want those too.
Yeah, if you have any, especially if they have a meta-analysis, I'd like to see them.
And just to be, before you give your response, Andrew, my understanding here for the debate was primarily going to be about feminism, not specific criticisms of the.
Well, I mean, this is,
podcast.
The prompts
but-
were about manosphere and red pill.
yeah, so this is, I'm actually fine with this, right? So, Why it's not really a dating podcast, whether women should be submissive. Why, I don't understand. Why would that not be relational to dating?
What does submission have to do with dating?
Well, because dating is, especially on a dating show, you would be significantly talking about people's preferences when it came to the social experiences they're having with the opposite sex.
You're not talking about your preferences. You're talking about their preferences. Because when you talk about submission, you're talking about from your worldview, women should be submissive.
Okay, but from their worldview, they could also have maybe a counter to that why they shouldn't, or also a lot of them say yes they should. So the idea here for submission, especially, would be I don't see how that's not dating related.
I don't know how submission comes up on any sort of date. I don't know if you've ever been on a date in the
Well,
last
if you're
20
asking,
years.
so okay, so if I ask you, what type of woman do you want? And you go through the traits and you say, I'd also like a submissive woman. Does that make sense to say as a trait?
Sure, I don't know many people that would just offer that up as one of the first things they want in a woman, but maybe those are the people you hang out with.
Who said it's the first? If I'm
You
asking,
just said if you ask somebody.
If I'm asking what's your dynamic, and one of the answers is a submissive woman.
Yeah.
That comes up all the time for men in dating.
Okay, in your circles, perhaps.
I mean, no, just in well, how many dating podcast sample sizes do you have here?
I'm on a dating podcast. I made one. I listen to a lot of your shows. I listen to a lot of everything that's out there.
I don't understand any of the dating podcasts that come up when you ask men
Yeah.
their preference. They've never once says, I would prefer to have a woman who's more submissive.
The topic of submission only comes up on Red Pill podcasts.
No, it doesn't only come up on
Where
Red
else does
Pill
it come up?
Podcasts. It's been on Dr. Phil. It's been everywhere.
Dr. Phil talks about submission every
Yeah,
episode.
of
Every
course.
episode?
I didn't say every episode.
Well, that's what
He's
we're
not
talking
doing
about
a dating.
Yo, this guy dumb. He think only on the alleged red pill channels talk about submission and no other place that's not quote unquote labeled pills. No one talk about submission. I wish I could do a collage of all either shows, videos that's not pertain to the major YouTube networks that promote this or advocate for us, to show that submission is not talked about only on the so-called bigger platforms. It is mentioned briefly on all other shows. And maybe in the future I might do that. Who knows? Maybe with your help, y'all can email me of any shows you find that's not related to the top YouTubers. Let's continue and make sure like the stream.
Is he doing a dating
Then
podcast?
don't mention Dr. Phil's a dating show.
Is he
then
doing?
Don't mention Dr.
You
Phil's
asked
a
where
dating
else
show.
it's
That's not a
mentioned.
dating show.
You asked where else it's
Dr.
mentioned
Phil as a dating show.
Yeah.
That is not a dating
Yeah,
show.
so in any case, any of the dating podcasts that I've seen, it's a very common answer to say that they want to
Name another dating podcast.
And here's the other thing to dive into this.
Name another dating
here's
podcast.
the other thing
though.
to dive into this.
Well, you got to name another dating podcast.
Okay, Fresh and
besides
Fit.
Dr.
It
Phil.
happens there all the
Red
time.
pill content. Exactly, as I said.
Okay, so when you're talking about a dating podcast, what do you mean by that?
Something a little less, I don't know, misogynistic, perhaps.
What does that mean, though?
I've already explained it to you and defined it.
If any man has a dating podcast, is it red pill or
I have a dating
misogynistic?
podcast and it's not misogynistic.
I see. And let me ask you a question. What kind of questions do you ask on your dating podcast?
I ask them, what are their priorities in a man? I ask them, do you have advice for men in
And
dating?
how many men have you had on?
Zero. It's called Women on Men.
Oh, I see. So you're a misandrist?
Absolutely not.
Well, I don't understand. Why don't you want a man's opinion?
Because I want to ask women specifically.
He is a misandrist. Oh my god. Wait. I gotta get the soundbite, guys. I have to do it. I apologize. Listen, this is a show, man. Sit back and enjoy, man. Where's this? Where's my camera at? I gotta pull out the soundbite for this one. Kevin, where are you?
God damn it! You can't make this shit up! God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
Let's continue.
That has nothing. Misandry involves hate, and I don't hate men.
Oh, okay. I got it. So you only have on women.
Correct.
And you don't ask them, when you ask them about preferences.
Yeah.
Right? Do they say that they want things like assertive men?
No.
Do they say that they want less assertive men?
I give them a list of 10 traits and say rank these between your top 3 and your bottom 3.
Okay, so you're giving them the answers.
I'm not giving them the answers. They take a lot of time to think about it.
But you just said you gave them 10 traits.
Yeah, that's not the answers. Those are options.
Yeah, that's answers to that. There are options you can choose from. So multiple choice.
That's not answers.
Yes, it's answers.
Okay, they're answers, Andrew.
Yeah,
That
you
makes
give them
happy.
10 answers and say, choose from
And
these.
then they sort them. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that's their
so
answers.
you're making them choose from answers that you give them.
Okay,
So you're
okay.
literally feeding them their answers,
Yeah,
and then
feeding them their
they
answers.
choose them.
Yep, and they don't come and say, "Man, I wish you would have had this on
Well,
the
how
list." because
come?
it
How,
covers
why
it.
is it then? Well, how long have you been doing it?
Can we get back to? Can we get back to misogynistic podcasts?
If it is the case,
can we get back to misogynistic
and if
podcasts?
it
No,
is
we're
the
not.
case that it is your criticism,
Can we get back to misogynistic?
If you're gonna have
podcasts?
criticisms for whatever, I'm gonna have criticisms for your podcast.
You haven't even listened to it, so don't
Bro,
talk about it.
Do I need to?
Pull it up and
I
listen
can
to
listen
it.
to it from you.
Go ahead, pull it up on YouTube.
I can listen to it from you.
Go ahead and pull it up on YouTube. You have not
Did-
watched my podcast,
okay,
so
did
don't
you-
say here. We're not
did
going to
you-
critique my
did-
podcast.
why not?
Because you haven't even watched it.
Let's watch it.
Go ahead, pull it up.
So if we pull
we
up
got
your
45
podcast
minutes.
right now, I can take a
45
look?
minutes. 45 minutes put on two times speed, and then we can critique my podcast.
yeah.
But until then,
Yeah, we need to do that. Pull up the podcast. Pull up. Let's see your content. Let's see if it's really misandrous. I want to see that shit. Real talk. Let's go.
tell me about another
Yeah.
non-misogynistic red pill podcast.
Well, I don't think any of those are misogynistic podcasts.
Yeah, of course not.
You got to demonstrate that they actually hate these women.
By their actions, by the things, everything that's happening right there.
Yeah. So let's go through some more of these.
When Myron Gaines has a college table that says women deserve less, you don't think that's a little misogynistic?
Is that during his podcast?
He is one of the red pill content creators that we're talking
I had
about.
to be a podcast.
Dude,
I thought I had to be a podcast.
Can you
now
act
it
like an
doesn't
adult?
have to be a podcast.
Can you act like an adult? That is the most childish thing
How
I've
is
ever
it?
seen in my whole
That's
life.
you put you gave me the criteria.
The criteria is the content creators,
Oh, it's the
including Myron
content.
Gaines. Yes,
Got it.
I've always said
Got it.
that. Nothing's changed in my
as
statement.
we're talking about dating podcasts, or
Correct.
the idea of dating,
Correct.
Is it also possible there's just not that many?
Yeah, there's not a lot of red pill podcasts. The main
No,
ones,
just dating podcasts.
There's a ton of dating podcasts.
Okay, name some.
Mine.
Name some other ones.
There's a guy named Man We're in Trouble. There's Evie Edit. There's
Evie Edits a dating podcast.
Yeah, she talks about dating and men and women.
Is it a dating podcast though?
Yes.
So they have.
This isn't a dating podcast.
So hang on. So they have.
This isn't a dating podcast.
So on Evie Edit, they have. Every single time they come on, they have multitudes of people on with them, and all they talk
I didn't
about
necessarily
is.
say they have guests. I'm not talking about the format. I'm saying that's what the content that comes up is men and women, and this is not a dating podcast that we're currently
So
on.
you're just talking about, for you, a dating podcast, just anybody who's talking about dating.
This is not a dating podcast that we're currently on.
Well, prove it.
I just did.
How? Let's go through more.
You want me to read them? So here, why don't we do the first one? Whether women should be submissive. I don't
understand how
would that not
how would that
relate-
not be? Yeah, actually,
relate
how
to
would that not be a decent question to ask for dating? I don't get
Do
it.
you ask that on your first dates?
What if a woman would be submissive?
Yeah.
No.
Exactly, because it's not a dating question.
Why would that? Wait, hang on. Let's back up. Let's assume for a second that anything that I would ask a woman on the first date isn't something you would ask a woman on the first date. What does that prove?
I'm saying the things you guys do. How, do you think you're
Yeah,
going to
no,
look
can you
better in 10
answer-
years? Do you think you're
answer
going to
my
look better in 10
question?
years? Is that something you asked on the
Answer
date?
my question.
What's your body count?
Can
Do
you
you ask that
answer-
on the first
can you-
date?
can you answer my
Do you
question?
ask what's a body count on the first date?
Before you start shotgunning,
Yeah, you have different questions.
Before you start
have different
shotgunning questions,
You have
just-
different questions.
I'll never answer one of yours if you never answer one of mine.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, this is not gonna work. This is not a debate. You're rambling, my dude. You're talking back and forth. We want to have conversations. Andrew asks you a question. You give us a response. Don't be like the females on here. I know you try and press the ladies that be on your podcast to make them feel comfortable with their obsolescence and their wallow and their what do you call it, delusions. Over this podcast here, they give the honest truth. Men deal with truth every day, all day, from not only some men, but also some women. It's just women cannot handle the actual truth. That's why when they call these things like blue, red, and all these special crayon skin of pills, it's to bring you back to reality, sir. So that's why when you try to defend or talk about this red pill nonsense, you're not really posing a really strong argument. You're bringing these little subtitles of people that either knew about red pill and you label them as red pill because they did some harm to women. So you label that person as red pill, but that's not the purpose of the pills. And Akbar writes, he is moist-minded and unable to think logic. Yeah, because his whole premise, Kabal, is to garnish all the female attention as best as possible, because he know by simping to the women, they're in return will give him the eyeballs, the attraction, and revenue in regards to ad revenue to boost his platform. As clear as I'm going to say it. Let's continue.
So here we go again. What does it actually prove? What does it prove that if I asked a whole sequence of different questions from you on my first date, what does that prove?
Yeah, you're not asking these questions on your first
Can you
date.
answer my question?
I just did.
What does it prove?
It proves that you're not asking these questions
So
on
it
your
doesn't
first
prove
date.
anything?
It does prove it.
What does it prove?
That you're not asking these kinds of questions on your first date.
So what is that proving outside of that?
It proves that these are more
Does
misogynistic
it also,
questions.
hang on, does it also prove that I don't ask any other questions other people would ask that you're not asking here?
I have no idea if it proves that
Like,
or
it's
not.
just so stupid, dude. It proves
Yeah,
nothing.
okay.
What does it prove?
What do those questions prove?
Nothing. They don't prove anything.
Okay. This is just a pure dating
These
podcast.
dating is about your preferences, anecdotes, experiences.
Yeah, it's about
things
how
that you
many
want.
pumps after she says stop is grape. That's a dating podcast?
Do you think that when people
Hold on, answer that
Yeah,
question, Andrew.
I'll answer it.
I don't think you are.
You have to stop talking.
I
or I
am.
can't answer it. So stop talking.
Okay.
And I'll answer it. Is it the case that when you have half a dozen people who are sitting at a table and they're building a rapport with each other, that they crack jokes?
You think that's a joke?
Yeah.
How many pumps after a woman says stop is it grape is a joke?
Yeah.
Who laughs at that?
Lots of people. I think it's funny.
I'm not surprised you
I think it's
funny.
fucking
I think
funny.
you think it's funny. I'm sure you think it's funny.
It is funny.
Because,
Do you know why it's funny? What makes it funny?
because you're a little misogynistic.
No. It's because a feminist on this program a few months ago.
I remember. I saw it.
Yeah. So I don't. So it's a callback to that.
It's not a callback to that.
Yeah, it's a callback to that.
Because that was not about stopping.
Yeah, it was about consent.
Yeah, but that was about your wife sleeping and you banging her while
It's
she's
about
sleeping.
consent.
But that does. If she says stop and you keep going, is that consent?
The idea there is how long after are you violating consent? That's the idea.
Yeah,
for
that's
it.
a dating podcast topic,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Yeah, of course. People talk about that all the time, right?
Do you think that in this modern age, where intersexual and interpersonal dynamics between men and women are so fucked up, and they are fucked up,
And you're contributing.
right? Do you think that the idea, when you have tons of people who are out there talking about consent, that you have feminist academics who are talking about if two people are drunk and they have sex, they're actually technically raping each other, right? Do you really think that these are inappropriate questions to ask during a dating podcast in modernity?
I absolutely believe it's inappropriate to say
Why?
how many pumps after a
Yeah.
woman says stop is it grape.
Yeah, why?
That is inappropriate.
Why?
Because it should just be
Well, how
after
many?
she says stop.
Tell me how many.
I'm not going to answer that question.
You're not going to answer it?
No, because it's a stupid ass question.
Well, I don't know. I think it's a fair
Of
question.
course you do, because you're misogynistic.
What's
You think
misogynistic
you
about
think
it?
Because that is grape. You're talking about grape in such a lighthearted manner.
How does that?
I just answered the question.
How does that prove I hate women?
Dude, we can go down the list of things you've said.
Look, go down the list.
Out of your 5,000 debates.
Go down the list.
Do you like women at all?
Love 'em.
Oh, you love them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how
It's
I
so
know?
funny to talk about
You know
grape.
how I
It's
know?
so funny.
Do you know how I know I like them more
laugh,
than you?
The fact that you would laugh at
Yeah.
a grape question shows that you don't like women.
I laugh. Oh, hang on. Are you saying I hate men because I laugh about prison grape?
No, you don't hate.
I don't
men.
get it, though.
You don't
That's
hate
a double
men.
standard,
You don't
though.
hate men. You don't. You love
Wait a
men.
second.
You
wait
only
a second.
care about men. You
so
only
if I
care
make
about
light
men.
of a man getting
Yeah. Oh, he got him. He got him. Yeah. But what's the difference? That's my question. So you don't think it's a problem that a man when he goes to jail that another man is going to take his backside and tear it up? What's the difference? And really, truly, let's really be honest here. No person on God's green earth, no podcaster, no content creator, no social media influencer, even on this channel here, no person in the right mind is going to advocate any person, man or woman, get touched, get violated sexually by the same sex or the opposite sex. No person in their right mind is going to promote that. So it should be fair, even an exchange that if we got to talk about in both the male and female perspective when it comes to sexual assault or someone taking their backside. And really, I'm trying to be really clean for the sake of conversation. Let's keep going.
raped,
Yeah, you don't see.
that's fine.
You don't see it the same.
And it's not.
You don't see it.
I
the
don't.
same.
How do I see it? You
because
tell me.
you see women as so much less than.
Prove it. I'm looking for the demonstration, not the assertion.
Just watch Andrew's
watch the
videos.
assertion.
Just watch Andrew's
You can
videos.
prove,
just watch Andrew's videos.
Just watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no proof, no evidence, just watch.
Yeah, no, I'm making it up. I'm making it up.
So just tell me real quick, how can you affirm that I hate women because I might make light of a grape joke for women, but I don't hate men if I make light of a grape joke for men?
I'm not sure.
You know, I know you're not sure because that makes no fucking sense.
Okay.
So moving on to the next one, as we go through this, whether women should vote. So in modernity, women's voting habits, right, have a lot to do with the modern state of society, don't they?
Sure.
And they have to do with the state of people who want maybe patriarchy, or they want highly religious women who allow men to lead, or women who will turn over their ability to vote to their own husband and say, you just tell me where to vote.
Yeah.
You agree with all of that?
Sure.
Okay, so then why wouldn't it be pertinent to ask women what they think about women's voting patterns and voting habits?
Because you talk about revoking the right for women to vote. So it's just an easy conversation that people have. Should women vote? That's just something that people talk about around their dinner table, right?
It's okay. Do you think that was an easy conversation when you were talking about whether or not it was okay for white women to vote to date black men?
But I think what was an easy conversation?
That conversation.
Sure.
Pre-miscegenation was a pretty hard conversation,
yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. But do you think that it was pertinent to dating at the time?
Sure.
Okay. So then if that was pertinent to dating at the time and they were talking about all the reasons you should or shouldn't do this,
the dangers
and it's
of
a political ideology,
yeah,
on both sides, right? Why is it not appropriate for us to have a conversation about women's voting patterns when it comes to relationships?
It's not women's voting patterns. It's should women vote.
Yeah.
That's not about patterns.
Yeah, it is.
That is the question about women
Well, how would
voting.
you determine if they should or shouldn't?
I just think everyone should.
Oh, you just think that?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
I don't need to.
You don't need to?
No.
Okay. So the thing is I'll just release you from this. I'll just let you skip out on giving me no justification for why everybody should be able to vote.
I don't need.
But I
want to
know. I would like to know. You don't need one.
I don't need a justification.
Then I don't
for
need
why
a
I think women should
justification.
vote.
Then I don't need a justification to ask a woman if she thinks other women should have the right to vote in order for me to judge whether or not she's a submissive woman or not.
Sure, but that's not a dating topic. That's just you being
If
political.
I want to judge if
that's
she's
just you being
submissive?
political. You guys push your conservative agenda on this channel, and that's what you do.
Do you think that I want to live in it? Well, I do.
Yeah, you do. And
But
so
it's not my
does
channel.
Jim Bob. I know. Because
not my
homie just
channel.
sits back and chills. Brian's chilling. He's eating popcorn while you ask these questions.
Yeah, but I mean, I literally have made.
It's his podcast.
I have
It's a dating
never made any
podcast.
qualms that I'm here to represent my worldview.
I know, but it's a dating podcast,
Yeah.
and you're asking these crazy questions.
They're not crazy.
They're absolutely.
No.
Should women vote
Yeah.
is a crazy question in 2025.
Can I also ask you this? Do you think that men and women and when they're in relationships get into political arguments often?
Sure.
Constantly, right?
I mean, theoretically, if you're dating somebody with the same values, you're not. But
If you
sure.
marry a woman and she votes against your vote, would that create marital issues?
Maybe, but I don't think you probably would have ever married that person to begin with because you don't have
probably
the same
not.
values.
You know why?
Because you don't have the same
asked her
values.
what she thought about the right to vote, and she said, "I want women to have the right to vote," and so you didn't fucking marry her, or you didn't date her because she doesn't align with you politically. Does that
Do you
make
know
sense?
Do you know
now,
people
or-
that do that? Do you know
Yes.
people that say, "I won't marry this woman because she thinks
I
women
won't
should
marry
vote"?
an overly assertive woman who thinks that she's going to be politically dominant in my home? Of
It
course.
has nothing to do about politics.
Let me acknowledge the chat room briefly. This guy is damaging and indoctrinating. Yeah. And let me read the next one. Let me make sure the comments. Okay, that comment didn't go through. Akibar, the second comment came out. Didn't came through, so you might have to rephrase the other comment. I can't put it up. Let's go. And how you doing, Zara?
Politically dominant. You said, if I ask a woman, do you think women should vote? And she says yes, I'm not going to date that person.
And then, but hang on. But then you ask her why.
No, I don't ask her why.
I know, but if you were going to date her, you should.
No, because I think
Yes,
women
you
should vote.
I know you think that,
And
you're
you
not
don't.
every man who lives.
Wow,
So what do
how
you
many
mean?
men don't think women should vote?
I have no idea, but at least a
You
significant.
think it's a significant amount?
Yeah, I do.
Like, give me a percentage.
Of how? I have no idea.
Throw it out.
That
You're
would
a
be,
smart guy.
That would be impossible.
Throw it
to
out.
determine.
You're a smart guy. You can assume
Throw-
how many men.
you
Throw
want-
out a number. Throw out a percentage in your gut, in your heart of
tell you
hearts.
what.
How many men don't
I'll
want
tell you
women to
what.
vote?
I'll throw that out if you throw out how many do.
Okay.
Okay, you first.
How many men want women to vote?
Uh-huh.
I say at least 90%.
Based on
Men I know.
so nothing.
That's it. Yeah.
So based on
nothing.
anecdote.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like I'm asking you to do.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't give you one.
Yeah,
because I don't deal in anecdotes.
No, we don't deal in anecdotes
No.
at all. You deal in anecdotes all the time. But
No, I
okay.
don't.
Yes,
Unless
you
you're
do.
asking me about something anecdotal.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, there's no reason. There's actually no good reason that you've given me yet for why it's not pertinent inside of a man's dating life if he wants a submissive woman, why she wouldn't be politically aligned with his ideology.
Okay.
So just pointing that out.
Sure.
You actually still haven't given me a reason.
Yeah.
On
It's a
Sunday's
common
show,
topic.
you asked, well, I didn't ask this, so I don't know anything about it. How many pumps after a woman says stop before it becomes grape? I didn't ask that.
I know. But that's why this isn't a dating podcast.
Because you made a joke.
That's not a joke.
Yeah, it's a callback joke.
It's
like,
not
it's
a
very
callback
clear
joke.
to me that that's
it's not.
callback.
It's not clear because it's a totally different scenario.
Okay. Even though, so you really don't think that that's about consent?
I know what the joke was. I remember it was.
I thought it
very
wasn't a
lively
joke.
Debate.
I thought it wasn't a joke.
I'm talking about the callback. I'm
Okay.
saying this is not a joke
So what makes it not a joke?
because it's not funny.
Oh, so you don't find it funny? So
Nobody
therefore it's not
found
a
it funny.
joke?
Nobody was laughing. Not a single person
So
laughed.
if I go back to that timestamp and I look at it,
Go, please do. Pull
and
it up
nobody's
now.
going to say
Let's
anything.
pull it up now.
Nobody's going to say anything.
The only person that kind of chuckled was Brian.
So then it was a joke.
No,
Then why did Brian laugh?
I'm not sure.
Because he thought it was funny.
Perhaps if the joke teller thinks it's funny, that's a problem.
Why?
Because if no one else is laughing except the joke teller, that's a problem.
That just means it's a bad joke, not that it's not a joke.
Okay, it's so funny. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but I mean, can people tell bad jokes
Sure.
and nobody laughs?
Yeah, bad jokes about.
But
grape
if you
on a
tell the
dating
joke and then
podcast.
you laugh, do you
Bad
think it
jokes
was
about
intended
grape
as
on
a
dating podcast?
Yeah, do you
you're
think it
right.
was intended as a joke?
No, I don't.
So why did he laugh?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's very
Maybe
strange.
maybe out of awkward, maybe out of insecurity, maybe out of all
Very,
yeah.
very
People laugh
strange.
out in uncomfortable circumstances. You do it all the time.
Yeah,
you do
but,
this, like,
but when
loud
I asked you
chuckle.
why, you said because he thought it was funny.
Maybe it's insecurity. I have no idea. Maybe it's
Way to change your
nervousness.
answer, bro.
Oh yeah,
What's
I can
the
change
next
my
one on the
answer. New
list?
information. How about that?
It's your information. How is it new?
The next one is divorce hurts men, marriage is pointless.
What? That's literally the opposite of my message.
No, well, he's saying that's one of the reasons how the show is not a dating podcast.
You're
When we
actively-
talk about divorce,
You're actively
hurting men.
promoting people. You're actively saying why should men get married? That's a common talking point.
No, I
in this
usually ask
podcast.
why secular men should.
Why should anybody get
Well,
married?
this is super important. So I don't even think you would argue that this isn't dating related. So the span and spectrum between religious and the religious who want to get married in their preferences and secularists who want to get married in their preferences is like fucking night and day. And so I always draw this parallel out when I ask religious people, why do you want to get married, right? Especially religious women. And then you hear this answer, right? I want to fulfill my obligations to God, or I want to, live a certain lifestyle which is based on my ethical system. That's why I want to get married. You ask secularist women why you want to get married, and oftentimes they'll give you a whole complete class list of I want more resources, or I would like security, or they're not unreasonable, right? But they definitely have a completely distinction in opinion for why they want to get married. That is, I don't even think you could disagree that that's 100% valid for dating.
Talking about marriage is fine. Discouraging it is not.
When do I ever
This
discourage
podcast
it?
discourages marrying
When?
all the time.
When have I ever discouraged marriage?
Now, two things to address about discouraged marriage. Most podcasts today either advocate or tell men not to get married. The biggest question a man should ask, like this man, Mr. Gomez, that has a podcast only focused on women only, no men are allowed, all right? Why men are not so eager, even to this percentage, right, as it stands, that's still twinkling in my estimation, and I could probably pull up, but I would say it's hovering around under 50%, right? Okay. Why are men not so eager to get married? Should be the question Mr. Gomez should answer for himself. Now, I have conclusions why most men don't get married. I'm not going to rephrase them here because the whole point is we were supposed to watch this and get more sense about this red pill stuff, right? He doesn't understand or knows what the hell he's talking about. You're not going to get into no marriage with any woman in the West regardless of your economic circumstance, and think you're going to survive roughly 15 to over 20 years of marriage. The average marriage to date is now down to under, if I got range it, I will say nearly close to 7 to potential 5 years in between. Today, as it stands. That is if we had to guess from people that's still married now, that's boomers and maybe early Gen Xers, very early, that's now at a 20-year marriage, some even go as far as 4-year marriage, that is drastically changed in the last 40 years. Oh, excuse me, 30 years. So you should ask the question, why are men not so eager to get married? Answer is, it's this bitch. Is this lady? Is this woman? No fault divorce makes it too easy for people to get out because they're not happy. Marriage is not designed for happiness. It's designed for eventually duty and to hopefully raise the next upcoming offspring to move and function in this world. And never say anything from the biblical books that most people don't read, from the Torah, the Bible. And I'm not really so advocate of these religions, but let's go there. And never advocate said that you are going to be happy once you get married. No, it said all of the necessities that what marriage is going to bring. And most women do not follow those necessities. That's why they will divorce men at a rate of over 50 or 60 or 7% now. So on that note, this man does not understand why men are not so eager to get married. Let's keep listening. Let's hear his foolishness.
I say you did. I said this podcast.
I have always maintained, to try to throw you like as much of an olive branch as I can, I've always maintained that to me, I can't create justifications for secular marriage.
Well, by the way, we're also talking about red pill manosphere. Myron Gaines is also someone else, another popular
He
creator.
also can't create. So I've had conversations with Myron about this.
Yeah.
Okay. He also is in the same boat that I am in that for secularist men, because what Myron says is from the religious standpoint, it makes sense, especially if there's an ecclesiastical authority which can help govern it.
Right.
But he's the same place. Like from the secularist standpoint, justifying it for men is very difficult.
When he's talking about not getting married, he never caveats it about being secular. He says, why would men get married? They don't get anything out of it. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And this is the same message that red pill content creators are promoting to their people. And that's why they are single. That's why they're alone. And that's why they're isolated.
So I'll cede some ground here.
Okay.
That he probably does talk like that, but he's a secularist.
Okay.
So when he's referencing men, right, he's thinking of it from that view.
What does Andrew Tate think about marriage?
Again, what does that have to do with Myron Gaines? One at a time. Don't pivot. Don't red herring.
Wait, and also I just want to come in here. Andrew Wilson is not Andrew Tate, so why is Andrew doing a defense of Andrew Tate?
He's doing a defense of red pill manosphere content.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that they are content creators of
Look,
that.
I'm fine. I'm fine doing this. So Andrew Tate is looking at things also from the perspective of Muslim, and he's looking at things from. He has a variance perspective that's kind of interesting, but discouraging. I actually.
And a side note, I do look at your comments for most people that's putting comments here. I'm looking at both devices. If I do not see it on this handheld device, but I see it on my other device here on my studio, I am not going to look at it, much less read it. For those that don't understand. So if you're leaving unsupervised comments that Google does not accept, your best bet, if you really want to be known, you got to put it in a super chat. The super chat's right there. You see the little dollar sign right there? Put it there for let everybody see it in color. That's the way you're going, if you try to put something that's relevant for the whole people to see it and the whole world to see it. So put it in super chat, and then I eventually might have to read it. But in that, if it doesn't pop up in my other device, that means Google did not allow this comment to go by. Let y'all know. That's a side note. So let's continue. Please support the channel. Let's go.
I understand why it is that secularists discourage marriage for men. That makes sense to me. And I actually understand why it is that Tate would discourage marriage for men as well. That also makes sense to me. But since his conversion, he actually seems to discourage it less, but says instead that there needs to be reforms and changes to the way that the laws are done so that men don't take as much risk in marriage.
Okay, so going back to my opening statement, 3 of the biggest podcasts that promote red pill content, whatever, Fresh and Fit and Andrew Tate, most of them, excluding you and Jim Bob, discourage marriage typically. So that's my point that I've been making this whole time, that you guys, these content creators are discouraging men and women from getting together because it benefits them.
But I need you to tell me this now, okay? I'm going to actually concede this point so that you can tell me why the fuck that's bad for men.
Do you think men shouldn't get together with women?
I would love to hear your justifications for why it is that secularist men ought to get married to secularist women. Go ahead.
I think that red pill men, especially the incels of the world, 95% of them report severe depression and they're lonely. So these kinds of podcasts promote people being alone, and that is dangerous to men.
You're right. But have you looked at the unaliving rates for divorced men?
They're high, but
No,
you know
how much higher?
80% of
How
all
much
unalives,
higher?
80% of all unalives are
higher?
men. 80% of all unalives are men.
And by the way, why didn't you throw in, because you're only giving one side of this, right? I've read probably all of these studies. In fact, you can give me the list. I bet you I have.
You have the list.
Here's what's interesting. In the study that you're citing specifically, especially when it comes to unaliving.
Multiple studies.
Especially when it comes to unaliving. Which demographic unalives the most? It's those who cohabitate. The cohabitating men who are unmarried, right? They actually unalive more than the men who are married or the men who aren't married, including these depressed men. And cohabitation seems to be like kind of the number one thing that secularists push, right? Go ahead and cohabitate and go ahead and live together. There's no reason for you to have any type of moral standards. There's no reason for you not to go ahead and move in with your girlfriend. That's what they push.
Do you know
That's
who's
their
getting
idea.
married more right now than any other demographic?
Who?
College-educated people.
Yeah, that's true.
Mostly secularists. So I don't know what you're
So
talking
what?
about.
What
They're
does that have
not
to do with
secularists aren't pushing don't get married.
What does that have to do with anything?
This idea that you're saying secularists have this non-moral code where they're saying just cohabitate, it doesn't matter. That's not what's happening because they're actually getting married.
Yeah, because women who are in college have access to much higher status men than women who aren't in college.
College-educated people are also getting divorced less.
Yes, because you have the high status man that you want who has lots and lots of money. Yes, that's the way that works.
The women are also making a lot of money. Do you know how?
No. So here's the thing that's so funny. Here's what you didn't include here. So when it comes to the middle, right? You're right that the middle class, which I would argue,
You're saying I'm right a lot. by the way.
which probably doesn't exist. Right?
I appreciate you saying I'm right.
Well,
constantly.
the thing that's so fun about making a concession to a point is that it makes it easier for me to destroy it.
Oh, yeah.
So here's what's funny about this. You are correct that the middle class does get divorced a bit less. Or I'm sorry, get married a bit less, right? In some cases, a lot less, depending on what's going on. But here's why. You can only usually get a guy or a woman based around the social dynamics and social circle that you're in, right?
Sure.
They only have access to women or men who are roughly making around the same amount or not the same amount as them, and usually they meet them at work. College-educated women, different. Now they have access to this kind of wider pool of much more wealthy men, right? And so, yeah, of course they marry them more often. They have a higher status there for them to go after. That's why they do that.
I like how you think women are just going after high status men when they make up 45% of the workforce, 43% of entrepreneurs. They're making their own money, Andrew.
Can you tell me, though, what the disparity is between the amount of money that these college-educated women make compared to their college-educated husbands, sir?
I'm not sure, but
You're not sure.
You're going by the same falsification that these women are doing a lot better than men, and actually that's not factual. And Cabal, are you in the chat room? How many jobs women lost besides black women in the workforce today? Can anybody give me the numbers? What jobs women hover the most? I'm confused. Can anybody tell me? That one, no. I'm waiting for your answer. Let's keep going.
I'm not sure.
Oh, that's such a shock. Well, let me tell you, because I am sure, right? It's a significant
Why don't you give me a
amount
number
more.
then? If you know so much, give me a number.
Because I don't remember if it's between.
It's significant.
I
though.
don't remember if it's between 0.5 or 1, but it's at least 0.5 more.
Okay.
At least.
Okay.
So, like, I don't even know what you're
point?
arguing here.
Yeah, I'm arguing here that secularists still get married, and you're making the stupid point
No.
that they're promoting cohabitation, even though that's not the case.
I would say that if it were the case, that the middle class had access to the same amount of wealth as the college-educated women do, that they would be getting married at the same rates to those men.
Okay, well, why aren't they getting married then?
Because they don't have access to those men.
Okay.
Can you tell me why that's wrong? No.
I think
no, you can't, can you? Because it makes sense, doesn't it?
I'm about to.
Okay,
why do you think there's such a gulf between relationships right now that you actually encourage?
I don't. What golf do I encourage?
You encouraged it on Pearl Davis' show just this week.
What?
That the gulf. She said men and women are dating. You said good.
Yeah. No.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're gonna lie right here, right in front of my face?
No, I don't think I did say that.
Yes, you did. You said it's good because they're gonna. No, I'll tell you what you said. You said they're gonna hold out because you think women are gonna cave first, so that we could start creating these gender roles again.
Ah, yes. So you're talking about my internal critique of Pearl Davis.
Pearl Davis said men and women aren't dating, and you said good, and this is why it's good.
Yes,
that's not an internal
good.
critique.
This is why it's good.
That's not an internal critique.
Yes, it was. The entire conversation with Pearl was an internal critique.
That specific conversation was not an internal critique.
The whole conversation was an internal critique.
That's a very likely story.
It's not only a like. But listen, am I a person who debates utilizing internal critiques?
Sure.
Yeah, and do I use that? Do I have a staple for utilizing internal critiques?
Sure.
Okay. Why is it, though, that for some reason you think with Pearl Davis I wouldn't use internal critiques?
Because I will admit, throughout the podcast you were, but this specific point you weren't. This was your own personal belief that it's a good thing that men and women are dating because you only want Christian people dating.
No.
You only want Christian people dating and having babies. Secularists can go fuck themselves.
My point there, right now, this is off the top of my head, right? And I think it's unfair for you to hold me to the standard of this debate that I had that went on for hours. I can't remember every detail of it. But if I remember this correctly, what actually happened there was we were discussing secular marriage, and if the gulf got too wide, right, then people are going to divert themselves over to other X thing. But I don't remember exactly.
It had nothing to do with secular. It's like you keep throwing that word in front of what these people are saying because it just helps your argument. But that's not what you guys were discussing.
Well,
you were talking about men and women aren't dating.
Exactly.
Do you admit that men and women are dating currently? Do you know men 18 to 24 have never asked a woman out in real life? Did you know that?
Yeah.
So
no, that's not correct.
Okay, correct me then.
Yeah, no, show me any data that shows that in your packet.
It's probably not in that packet.
Because it's not true.
Okay, then what's the statistic then?
I don't have to give you a counter. I just can tell you that that's not true unless you demonstrate it.
Okay, I'm the one who actually brought something. Did you bring any data? Demonstrate any statistic you've thrown out.
What statistic have I thrown out?
Demonstrate any statistic you've thrown out.
What statistic have I thrown out?
About how much more men in college make than their white counterparts.
You demanded that I give you a number. What did I say?
Yeah, I didn't demand. You said it's significant.
I said I don't actually know other than it's significant,
right.
The gap.
Well, then show me the proof of that.
Yeah, but I don't. That's all I know.
Okay, then shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So here, just real quick, just demonstrate it. Demonstrate it. I got your data packet.
Let me ask you something. Are men and women dating less?
Hold on. If you got to answer his question.
I don't have to do anything.
Doesn't answer questions.
Hold on. If you're going to cross-examine him, he's going to cross-examine
I asked him
back.
initially how.
See, so you come here just to troll. You didn't come here for the conversation, good faith. This is why Andrew kind of mopped the floor a lot of these so-called man-hating simps. This does not give you brownie points. This does not help your platform grow any better. Now you made an ass of yourself on this podcast. Ain't gonna work, buddy. And let me tell you a secret for most of you that's watching this channel. Women love to watch when men let them know the actual truth. How I know? Because not just men watching these so-called red pillar content creators. Women watch these channels as well. And they try and get their daily dose of actual masculine honesty. And that's the underlying truth that's not being discussed, that people never knew. I'm telling you right now, what you're doing, Mr. Gomez, is irrelevant. And really true, you should not believe our women, because women will tell you one thing but do other. All right, let's keep going. This is just ridiculous. Very useful.
How many people are dating? And then he said,
answered most of your questions.
He has not answered. What was the question?
He said you've asked you've shotgunned a bunch of questions. He asked you a question back. You should respond.
Oh my God, this fucking room is cooking. Can you open that door up?
It is pretty hot in here.
Yeah, it's
Open
fucking
it up,
cooking.
both of them.
Holy shit. Whew. This is like peak bad, dude. All right. It's got to be like a fucking 100 degrees in this room, dude. So anyway, where were we? What were we talking about?
I asked about men and women dating and the gulf between them.
Yeah, what about it?
Do you admit that that's happening?
That there's a gulf between dating?
Yeah, the
You
men
mean
and
by
women are
class
dating
or by
less.
by what?
In general.
What does that mean? What are you asking me?
Do you think men and women are dating less? Yes or no?
Yes.
And you think that's a good thing?
Contextually, it could be a good thing.
What do you mean by contextually?
Well, it could be that people are selecting for better mates, for instance, and so they're dating less because they have much more criteria for them to go off of. Maybe you could possibly see as results of that less single motherhood. It could be a good thing.
Do you think there are more involuntary celibate men than ever?
No,
You think this is
Definitely not.
You think this is not an anomaly that's happening right now?
no.
When else in history do you think that was happening?
So throughout most of history, only about 40% of men ever reproduced, and we know this because we can check our ancestry and see how many more female ancestors than male we have. So, yeah, most men were not able to reproduce. They were expendable. They were used as soldiers, used as this, used as that. So no,
They
actually,
didn't
more
have
men.
resources to reproduce. I can see that.
Yeah, you'll concede that point, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't think that this is like.
So you don't think there's a gulf in the male loneliness thing? You don't think that's a real thing?
Yeah, well, I didn't say that though.
Okay.
What did I actually say?
No, I'm asking. Do you think it's a
so
real
what
thing?
I actually said was I do think it is the case that no, you are incorrect and that this is not the worst it's ever been. I would say that the interpersonal sexual dynamics might be the worst they've ever been, but I also think that feminism and single mom caused that.
That's an interesting. Why do you think that caused it?
Because all the stats show that every single rate that you can imagine, a metric, which is horrific on young men, usually comes from single mother homes. We're talking everything from homelessness on up.
Are
Like
single
almost
mother,
everything.
Is another term for single mother homes fatherless homes?
Sure.
So why do you put it on women?
Because it's usually women who initiate being in the fatherless relationship, not men.
And why do they initiate being in a fatherless relationship?
The number one answer from women is that irreconcilable differences.
So do you know anyone a woman in your life that's ever been divorced?
Sure.
Do they say, hey, we got divorced because we couldn't reconcile our differences, or do they say another reason?
Usually, well, I mean, they have all sorts of reasons.
Yeah,
I
but
know
they
what
don't
you
say we couldn't reconcile our differences, right?
mean. Yeah, that's true. Well, what's your point?
Why do you use that as the reason women are
Because
getting
that's
divorced?
the reason they give is irreconcilable differences.
That's the reason they give in court, but what
Yeah.
do they give in real life? What's the real reason
They have
women leave people?
they have a varying degree of things, but here's what's not happening. What they're not actually giving in real life is he was abusing me, he was beating me up, he was doing this, he was doing that.
Do
Usually
you know the
it's
top 3
things-
reasons women file for divorce?
Tell me.
Infidelity, emotional neglect, and poor communication,
And what's-
followed by finances.
What's the top 3 though?
That's what the top 3 I just said.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, the
Yes, it
top 3 is not infidelity.
Yes, infidelity, emotional neglect.
Remember, this guy is not well read. He's not laying out his logic properly on the table. The man asked 3. He gave roughly 4. Am I right, guys, in the chat room? How many 3 reasons what would cause divorce? Why women file divorce? In person, I'm gonna be honest with you. With the cheating. Cheating is less concerned with a lot of women. Now, finance plays a lot of important things why most people don't get married, most men, or anything like that. And even if you got your money right, you put yourself in a much vulnerable position, gentlemen, with prenups. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have to pay her out when she's really tired of you. Where you got another woman on the side, or generally she doesn't feel like you're like a woman and you want to hear her problems and be a good communicator and have what they call emotional intelligence. I'm gonna say it's about the emotional intelligence. If you're a man, especially a black man, or any man, but let's say black man, cut it out. You should be doing the best you can and move on your purpose, if possible. The last thing you want to be is an emotionally intelligent man. You have the right to listen to a woman and hear her out and maybe give some solutions or let her just air out her little babble. But you're not here put on this earth to be an emotionally intelligent man to women. Most times don't exist. That's another form of women want to be acting and conduct themselves like women, but still operate as a man. They want to be both sex. They want to be androgynous. And you're not androgynous male. You're a man, not no androgynous or androgynous person. Hope that sinks in. Let's go.
And poor
Oh my God.
communication, followed by finances.
Oh, so what's the number one reason?
I just said infidelity. I just said
Infidelity is number one
Correct.
reason?
Correct.
Okay. Which one of these studies proves that?
Did you bring any studies?
Just tell me which one
Don't
proves
you know
it.
what? Don't say any facts for the rest of this debate if you're not going to show me a study. How about that,
Bro, listen.
Don't show.
Did I
No,
make
no
the
more
claim?
facts. No more facts.
You got to stop interrupting him.
Dude,
every
I'm not
time
did I make-
you literally
Yeah,
were
hang on.
interrupting his
Did
talk.
I make-
Good boy. Yeah, you
Did
got to
I
get your
did I
boys
make
back.
the claim or did you?
It's called moderating the show. You've been interrupting the entire time.
Okay.
If Andrew interrupts you, I'll say the same thing to him.
Yeah, but just real quick, did you make the claim or did I make the claim?
I made the claim.
Okay, great. Can you show it?
I don't have the data point in front of me, but I looked it up prior to this, and you can do it after.
Okay. What if we do it now?
Go for it.
Sure.
And where can I find this data? I'd like to.
Around.
No, you looked it up
I have
before.
a lot of data, man. I don't know exactly each
I
source
thought
where
you
I got
looked
it
it up
from.
before.
This is more about single mothers. You can look at that one if you want to talk about single motherhood.
Yeah, we can get into that. But again, this is just wild to me. I thought you were going to tell me that was the number one reason.
Okay, well, you can't use any facts if you don't have any
The
data.
number
to
one
back it
reason
up.
that I'm seeing is lack of commitment.
Well, that's infidelity and
No,
also
no,
emotional
it's
neglect.
not.
Okay. What does lack of commitment mean to you, Andrew?
I have no idea what it means. You tell me.
Of course
What
you
is
don't,
lack
but it's
of
not
commitment?
infidelity, right? Because infidelity doesn't
Well,
show a
what
lack of
is it?
commitment. Does infidelity show a lack of commitment?
See, this is why I tell you, this man was not prepared. He went and go to Google, and we can go as far as he went and used either Gemini or ChatGPT just to pull out some stats reference, and he himself don't even understand what the fuck he's reading. If you're gonna come to on a table debate another man, have your shit right. At least, god damn it. Cause you're looking very goofy out here, my dude. You're not making yourself look good and make your platform that you stand on pretty good. It lets me know that you're a misandrist platform that's look at everything wrong with men and make everything right for women. That ain't gonna fly over here. That's not gonna fly. You haven't answered one goddamn question throughout this whole stream. And not only that, you're cutting off Andrew for no reason. Stop acting like a sissy, a female, whatever you want to call it, these stupid terms we use labels on men like you. Act like you got some goddamn sense. I'm continuing to take, man, because this is getting frustrating now, because this sounds stupid as hell.
So
Does-
not
does
coming
it?
home by fucking 10.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
So tell me, what does that mean? Lack of commitment.
You tell me.
You're the one who made the claim.
You're the one who said it was irreconcilable differences.
That's the number one reason they file divorces. Is
Yeah,
what
but
I
that's
said.
not the reason people actually file for divorce.
Okay, so the reasons that they give, you're saying that the number one reason women give is infidelity.
Infidelity, emotional neglect, and poor communication.
Okay, where can I find the statistic?
I don't remember, man. I brought all the statistics. You didn't bring any.
I didn't need to bring any.
Yeah, because you're making shit up.
What am I making up?
Anything you say, because you can't prove
Bro,
it.
what have I said that I made up?
About the finances that?
How do I make something up when I say I don't know for sure?
Okay, well, you said it's significant.
That is true. It is significant.
Okay, well, how can you prove that?
Well, what does significant mean? Let's see. Statistically, let's just see if we can find this. I am not seeing infidelity as the number one answer on any of these.
Okay.
Yep. See that?
Number one reason I'm seeing is financial problems.
That's not the number one reason. And you've also said it's not the number one reason. You've
That's
said
what
that.
I'm seeing.
Okay.
But I'm ready for a counterfactual.
Okay, fine. Let's just concede that I don't know what I'm talking about. The point is, it's not irreconcilable
Yeah, you're
differences.
right. Don't know
People
what the hell
file
you're
for a
doing.
reason.
Well, we're talking past each other because we were talking about divorce.
Right.
And I said that they file for irreconcilable differences.
Right.
You asked for the meaning behind the irreconcilable difference. I'm fine with that. I just don't think it's infidelity. I think that's incorrect. And when I just looked, it is. You made the claim that it is, but you can't tell me where I
But
can
you're
find that data.
blaming women for filing for divorce, making it sound like it's just some fly-by-the-night thing they decided to do. There's typically a reason, and you read some
I'm
of
not
them.
saying that there's not reasons.
Okay,
The question.
then why do you blame women for single motherhood?
The question is whether or not there's good. Well, first of all, can you be a single mother and never be married?
Sure, but where's the father in this scenario?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: don't courts adjust towards women even when they aren't married?
Do you know 1 in 3 children born out of wedlock don't see their father past the age of 3? Did you know that?
Why?
You tell me.
I'm waiting.
No, you tell me. If you,
Why do I need to tell you when I ask you a question? Why?
Because single motherhood is not just a female problem.
Okay, but why do they not have access?
Because
to the
men
child?
tend to abandon children.
Can you demonstrate that?
I think I just did.
How?
33% of children don't see their father past age 3
Yeah,
out of
but
wedlock.
that doesn't prove that it's because the men don't want to.
Okay, how many men file for custody of the child in child court?
I don't know the stats off the top of my head. We can look.
95% of them are filed without contest from the father, and the 4% that do typically do get it. So if 95% of men aren't fighting for the child, I think you can look at men for the problem.
Oh, I see. Okay, so let's back up. Tell me something. Who can actually have children, men or women?
Women.
Okay. Are these women being raped?
No.
Okay, so they have the responsibility of making sure that they don't get pregnant, right?
I think two people have the responsibility to make sure they don't get somebody pregnant as well.
But do you agree with me that it is the case that most men will sleep with most women, but most women won't sleep with most men?
So what?
So if that's the case, right, then women have greater access than men do, don't they?
Sure.
So if that's the case, why are they granting access to men who abandon their kids?
How do they know they're going to abandon their kids?
Well, hang on. That's so weird, though. Wait a second. Let's back up.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones who have the sexual access, right? So if they
Correct.
don't know, why are they sleeping with these men? They're the ones who get pregnant, not the men.
And men are the ones that get them pregnant.
Yeah. But so what?
They're a part of the equation.
So what?
That's a part of the equation.
Yeah, but women are the ones who get to access that.
And men are the ones that access it.
Okay. Can men have abortions?
No.
Can men force women to have abortions?
No.
Do you believe women should be able to have abortions?
Yes.
Well, if that's the case, right, that you believe women ought to be able to have abortions, men ought not to have any say on whether or not women have abortions, then women are the ones who ultimately have 100% access around reproduction, not men.
So men have no responsibility in your eyes?
How could they have a responsibility if they're not allowed to make the choice if the child's even here or not?
If you got somebody pregnant, would you abandon them?
Do I form a secular worldview or do I form a Christian one?
Do Christian people abandon their children?
No.
No, they don't. All Christians are perfect?
No. Under Christian ethics, you're not to abandon your children.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, so only secular people abandon their children.
No, that's not what I said. What did I just say?
Christian ethics bans you from...
Under Christian ethics,
Right.
you ought not do that.
Right.
Is ought not the same as do they don't?
Should anyone do that?
Do I think so?
Yeah.
Under Christian ethics, no.
Even secular. Do you think people should? Even if you're secular, do
Under
you
Christian
think people
ethics,
should?
I don't think secular people should.
And
no.
I think secular people also don't think they should abandon their children. So what's the point?
But they can kill them.
I don't think it's killing.
Oh, I know, right.
We're not gonna
So
have-
you don't think it's killing?
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's
Okay,
not.
got it. They kill them, but they think that they
It's not
shouldn't
killing.
abandon them.
It's not.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
don't
horrible
see-
framing. That's a
like,
horrible
I don't see
framing.
a great compelling reason here. The idea is that that these women
Mm-hmm.
they're getting knocked up. They're the ones who have complete and total access to who sleeps with them. They're not getting raped,
Mm-hmm.
and they have the choice as to whether or not they abort or not abort. Yeah.
But someone also was.
But does the
another-
man have a choice?
The man was.
Does the man have a
has
choice?
a choice to not impregnate a woman?
Now, what
yes.
if the man-
The man has a choice to not
Does the
impregnate
man
a
have
woman?
the choice
yes.
to keep the baby?
Not if the woman
Does the
doesn't
man
want
have
to.
the choice to make the woman pay him child support and keep the baby?
How much is the average child support?
Can you answer
payment?
my question?
No.
I just went.
How much is
no, no. Answer my fucking
I said no.
question.
I just said no.
Okay. Let's back up.
How about you listen?
Yeah. Okay, let's back up. Well, I said, can you answer my question? And you said no. You could see how I could perceive that as you
Sure.
saying, I'm not going to answer your question, right?
Yes. No.
Even
To
the
your original
moderator thought
question.
that was the case. Okay, so let's back up. You do believe that it is the case that men can't force women to have their children.
Correct.
But women can force men to take care of their children.
That's correct.
Okay. How is that fair?
I'm not saying it's fair.
Okay, so then what is the so then if men didn't want to have that child, why should they be held to account, take care of it?
Because it's their child.
What?
Because it is their child.
I'm super confused, but they didn't have a say.
Doesn't matter. It's their child.
Should they be able to have a say?
I don't think so.
But you just said it's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair. So what? They had a child. That's their child. They should take care of it, not abandon it.
So okay, so to get this right, then women should be able to kill men's children if they want, right?
Stop framing it as killing. They
Or
should-
hang on, or keep them if they want, and the man has to pay child support for the child.
That's correct.
Right?
That's correct.
And you think women should get to make that choice?
100%.
Why should we let women make that choice?
Because they're the ones that have to, conceive.
So, got it. So they're the ones who have to conceive. So they're the ones making the choice.
Yep.
So therefore, it's their responsibility. Anything else?
No, because the
No?
father is
No?
also part of the responsibility.
Wait, I'm sorry. Who's making the choice?
They can have the child, but the father should take care of their child. And you don't disagree with that, do you?
Wait,
do you disagree with that or not? Do you
making
disagree
I
that the
can't
father
justify
should
it
take
from a
care of the
secular
child?
angle
Why not?
because it makes no sense to
It
me.
makes total sense. If you have
Okay,
a
well,
child,
let's
you
try
should take
this.
care of it.
Well, let's try this again. I just walked you through the logic, though.
Fuck the logic. I'm asking
the
you,
logic? What?
do you think a secular person should take care of the child that they have?
Does a Christian think that? Of course.
And you don't think secular people do?
Well, I can't see how secularists could justify it. No, not if you're making the claim. So you made the claim. Here.
From my worldview, if you have
Yeah.
a child, you should take care of it.
Why?
Period.
Why?
Because that's my worldview.
Okay, why though?
Because it's your child. You,
Well,
you are
justify it
part
for
of it.
me.
I don't need to justify it
Right,
for you.
because when we walk around the logic, here's what we end up with. You say women have complete and total access, should be able to kill a man's kid, right? Or should be able to bring it to bear and make sure that the man takes care of the kid, but the man can't tell the woman that she has to have the kid
correct.
even if she's pregnant,
That's
right?
correct. And if there's a child in the
And
world
that's
that
correct.
that man contributed to, he should take care of it.
Okay, so just to make sure that we got this right, it's an uneven standard for men versus
sure.
women.
If that's the world we live in.
Yeah, so justify why it is that men shouldn't say, fuck that.
I don't need to.
Yeah, okay. Well, then, when you ask me, Andrew, don't you think X? And I say, well, yeah.
you say, I can't
and when
fathom
I
it
say,
from a secular
when I
point of
say
view.
from a secular point of view, I actually can't answer the justification. Just remember that neither can you.
And I would say most secular people also believe you should take care of a child
Yeah.
if you're the
From
one
the
that
Christian
had it.
ethical angle, of course, you're supposed to take care of your children. But from the Christian ethical angle, it's also completely appropriate, right, to put significant pressure on women to not have abortions, meaning men get a say in the choice, right?
Well, what's wild to me is that you're complaining about single motherhood, and then you're sitting here saying, "Well, men should say fuck it," which is just wild. That men should say fuck it if they
When
want to.
did I say when?
You said so. Men should say fuck it,
I know.
right?
I'm sorry. Do you know what an ought is versus a descriptor?
Sure.
What's an ought?
An ought is I don't know.
Did I
actually.
say that secular men ought do that, or did I say I can't think of a justification?
You can't think of a justification.
And
but
neither can
also,
you.
But you also don't think single motherhood is a good thing, correct?
That's correct.
So why don't you encourage men to take care of the children?
Should we force them to?
I think so.
Okay, so you think that we should force men to take care of the kids?
Correct. That's what child support is.
But no. No, that's not. Well, that is true that they take it by force, I guess.
Yeah, that's what you said.
But what I'm talking about force is like, should we make them participate as a father?
Yes.
We should force that.
And so, as long as the court rules that they should, yes.
No, that's different. I'm not asking about what the court rules. I'm asking, do you think we should force men to participate?
I think they should force at least child support. And if
No,
the father,
that's not my question.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Should they force men to participate in being a father?
No.
Being a father,
No.
No.
Not if the father. If the father's going to be a shitty father, then no.
Can you explain to me how it is that if the woman can get child support from the guy,
Mm-hmm.
right, and you are not going to force any participation, aren't you pushing single motherhood?
No, you're blaming women for single motherhood.
Yeah.
And you're saying
They're the ones who
fathers-
have all the choice by your own admission.
But the fathers have no part to play in it. And in single motherhood,
If it is
fathers
the
have no
case
part to
that
play.
fathers can't make the determination as to whether or not they can even have the kid, and only the woman can, you hold an uneven playing field. I have at least a consistent view that women should not be allowed to abort, and men ought to actually be made to participate in their own children's life. That's my consistent worldview. Your worldview is inconsistent.
Okay.
You're
That's
making
inconsistent.
yeah,
I'm
it's
sitting
totally
here-
inconsistent.
I said that if a man
you're
has a
you're
child,
just giving privilege to women.
If a man
Yeah.
has a child, they should take care of it. Do they? That's a different story.
If
I'm
women
saying
have,
they should.
If women have children, should they take care of it?
Yeah.
Can they give it up for adoption?
Sure.
Okay. Can the man make the woman give, or why can't the man give up his parental rights and just walk away? If the woman can.
If the woman does, then he can.
Well, wait, that's really weird. I don't get it. If it is the case that the mother has guardianship of the father's child, she can still put the child up for adoption, right?
Sure.
Okay, but he can't.
If he has guardianship of the child, he can.
If he has guardianship,
Well,
right?
so he can too,
But if
then.
she's a single mom, what gives him guardianship?
Well, he doesn't have guardianship. I'm saying if a father has guardianship,
Yeah.
he can also put up the child for adoption. It's not just a mother
Yeah,
thing.
but who does it default to?
Why does it default to women?
Because that's the way the system is set.
How is it set that way?
I'll tell you why it's set like that. Because the women hold the cards to a lot of things, and the government reaps the benefits in regards to getting their cut off the potential child support that she's going to put you under. Because you as a man, you're going to pay your portion of the child support and the state gets that child support, they get their little cut and they give her the crumbs on it. That's how it goes. That's why they hold her more and give her all the cards, because with her holding that goose, that lady egg, that egg is valuable only to the system. That is all, not to you. Unfortunately, gentlemen. Keep that in mind. Let's go.
Because it has become matrilineal rather than patrilineal.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
It means from the father or from the mother.
No, I know the definition. You always use those
it
words.
means that
But
the
why,
property,
but
the
why
property,
is the family court?
Yeah.
Why is it giving it to the women?
Because feminists have made huge pushes in order to make it that way.
Feminists have pushed that women get custody of the child?
Yeah.
Are most judges in family court men or women?
And family court, they're men.
And so they're influenced by feminists?
I'm sorry, wait a second. Are you saying that men can't be feminists?
I'm saying that I doubt that the majority of family court...
Are you saying that men can't be feminists?
I'm saying that I doubt all the family court judges are so influenced by feminism.
Do family court judges have to adhere to the law, or do they make the law?
I'm not sure if they make the law or not.
They have to adhere to the law. They don't make it, right? Yeah, so family court judges are just adhering to the law, right?
And what's the law say?
Yeah, the law, so here's what happened. We used to have what are called coverture laws. Coverture laws actually forced men to take care of their families. That very same thing that you want, right? Of course, this also made children their property, and women, right, were also part of the man then, right? That was how it went. But guess what? They had to take care of their family or they went to fucking jail. That's what happened. Marriages stayed together about 90, 95%. And then you know what happened? Feminists really pushed real fucking hard for the average default laws. And here's what the average default laws were. Oh, the average default laws were saying basically, on average, the default's going to go to women, right? Now, there's a whole series of laws I can pull up and go through. But yes, this was pushed by feminists so that there was default laws which pushed literally that women by default had custody. Yes, that is correct.
That is not how it works, because if a father tries to get custody of the child, they often do get it. But most
they do now.
Oh, so feminists have failed then?
No, bro. There's been, since men's rights movement started, especially in about the mid-2000s, there have been reforms to the laws. Male custody has quadrupled because of men's rights advocacy groups. And yes, quadrupled. And yes, I can grab you that stat if you want it.
I'm not saying
it has quadrupled because these laws have now begun to get rolled back. But it used to actually just be a straight default. A straight default.
How long? Because my understanding of this is most fathers aren't filing for custodial guardianship of the child.
You have to understand that you're looking at it from a historic prism that doesn't make any sense. You're talking about modern laws and the way that modern custody arrangements happen. It wasn't always this case. The case used to be actually that children went to the men. That was the old laws under coverture laws, right? That changed with feminism and radical feminism pushing for those laws to be changed.
So you're saying there was a time when the children were raised, there were more single fathers than single mothers?
No, there just wasn't really any erosion of marriage.
Okay, then why did you say that? Why did you make that point? You made the point that back in the day, men were getting custody of the children, but then there were still more single mothers.
No, there wasn't very many single mothers either.
Okay, but they outnumbered the single fathers.
No, there wasn't. Listen, these marriages stayed together, but under the law, it was true under the coverture laws that the child was the property or was at least associative property to the father, yes.
I'm glad we're having this discussion because it goes back to the point that I've been trying to make.
Can you explain, though, your logic?
Hope you guys following this so far. Make sure you like the stream. Hit the like button. Likes are free. I know people coming in and out. I only see very small likes, so I guess people not liking it. That's what I'm assuming. But if you do like this, please hit the like button. Let's go.
Hold on. I'm trying to understand the logic.
No, I want to get back to the thing we're talking about.
I know.
No, I want to get back to the thing we're talking about.
Hang on.
No, I'm not hanging on. It's not about escaping.
Before I let you escape, I just want to get back to this logic,
This is the point that I'm trying to make.
Why would it be that there was more?
I'm trying to make.
Stop,
I don't
bro.
want to.
I just want to finish.
I want to get back to the thing.
If you just answer this last question,
I don't give a shit.
We can move it
I want to get to the next thing.
Why won't you answer my questions?
Because the whole point I've been trying to make this whole debate is that any chance you get, you blame women. Any chance you get, you blame women. Single mothers.
For what?
For everything. You blame women for the downfall of society.
What
Andrew?
if it is that? Well, let me ask you this.
Do you blame women for the downfall of society?
No, I don't blame them for the downfall of society.
The current trend of society? No. You don't?
No.
You never said that?
No. What I blame women for specifically, right, is feminism and feminist Marxist ideology. I do blame them for that, yes.
Okay, and as you said, feminism is the reason there's so many single mothers, right?
I think it's a core reason, yeah.
Okay, so is that contributed to the downfall of society?
Sure.
So through that logic, women are contributing to the downfall of society?
Yeah, but men would also be contributing to the downfall of society.
Okay, so you blame women mostly for the downfall of society,
Blame feminism, yes, the ideology of feminism.
which is
But I'm
women.
blaming the ideology. So you're just asking about the execution. It's like, are you blaming men for the downfall of a society which is mostly communist? Or would you be because they're enforcing everything? Or would you be blaming the ideology?
You're blaming
Can
women.
you answer my question?
No, you're blaming
No.
women.
See, well-
You're not blaming the ideology because women are the ones
Bro, so I'm going to ask the question again until you answer it.
Okay.
So you have a communist country, right? And the men are doing most of the bad stuff in the communist country. Would you blame the men or would you blame communism?
I don't think feminism.
Can you answer my
I don't think it's the
fucking
same
question?
thing. I
Answer
don't
the
know.
question.
I
Yes
don't
or
know.
no? You don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. I'll just start
you're-
answering that way. I don't
because
know.
you're saying feminism, the
So you
ideology
don't
in
know.
its own, feminism,
If
the
you lived in a
ideology
communist
on its
country,
own.
You lived in a communist country, and it was mostly the men enforcing the communism.
Yep.
You don't know if you'd blame the men or the ideology, really. You don't know?
I'd probably blame the men at that point.
You'd blame the. Okay, well then. So you're saying that I should blame women?
No, I'm saying that you do.
I blame the ideology.
No, you're blaming the women at every chance you get.
The only consistent thing you could actually say here would be, I blame communism for the way these men are behaving, unless you innately think men are bad.
What about
Like,
feminism?
do you innately think men are bad?
What about feminism is bringing about the downfall of society?
You mean what is it contributing to?
Yeah.
It's not just contributing to single motherhood. It also contributes to these two-income households. It's contributing to, well, it contributes to the fact that we even need two-income households. But one of the major things it contributes to is taking mothers out of the home. That's the biggest way that it contributes to the downfall of society, is taking mothers out of the home. Don't you agree?
I don't agree. But
don't agree?
this goes to the point that
Do you
I'm
think
saying.
that- do
How
you
does
think-
this change what I
Yeah.
said, that you blame feminism for the downfall of society?
Well, you didn't say that. You said
I just
blame
said, I
women.
said that
You
initially,
said
and I
blame
said that in my
women.
opening statement
You said
as well.
I blame women.
Who implemented feminism?
Yeah, so well, that was a bunch of rich corporatists, and then
sure.
and then it was also a lot of women who were in bed with. No, it really was. It was rich corporatists.
Was it men that implemented
It
feminism?
was both.
Okay.
Yeah, it was both. But what do you think? But back to this. I just want to make sure, right? Why would it how would it even track that I would blame women for the or hate women? I'm sorry, hate women. I do blame them if they're feminists for holding that ideology, but that's not all women. That's not me hating women. You made the distinction earlier that if I hate an individual woman,
Right.
that's not misogyny, right?
But I wouldn't say on an individual level, no.
Yeah, so then if I hate all feminists, that's only hating individuals with an ideology, right?
If most women are feminists, wouldn't that be misogynistic?
I'm not sure that most women, well, I don't know. That's hard to say. But if it is the case, no, actually, even if it was the case that most women were feminists and you hated all women who were feminists, you still wouldn't hate women. You would only hate feminists.
That's an easy way out of that one.
Well, I mean, it's true though, right?
No, it's not true.
Okay, well, then explain the logic to me.
Because if women are feminists and you hate feminism,
Yeah.
then you hate women.
No, you hate feminism.
Okay.
Yeah, so here's the thing, and I can prove it. I hate men who are feminists too.
Oh, you're looking at one.
Yeah, so here's the thing. If that's the case, then would that make me a misandrist?
I don't think so.
What if most men were feminists, which you said is about 80%? So then I hate 80% of men. By that logic, so I'm a misandrist, right?
If you hate them for that, yeah, sure.
Okay, so then I'm a misandrist and a misogynist.
Then yeah, you hate.
So
people.
I just fucking hate everybody.
I mean, I wouldn't say most.
I
men
just
are,
fucking hate
I wouldn't say
everybody.
most men are
You
feminists.
said 80%?
I'm granting your hypothetical.
You weren't granting a hypothetical. I asked you the question. You said 80% agree with me.
No, I don't think.
And you're a
80% of men-
feminist.
I don't think 80% of men are feminists.
Okay, how many?
I don't know. I have no idea.
All right, so you have no idea, but your whole platform, you don't have no men on your platform have the conversation. This is the only platform outside your own platform on what, IG, or maybe you have a YouTube channel. You have this conversation about a man about red pill and what the falsification of red pill and why it's dangerous, why men should not follow red pill. You have not proved your point up to this point, and we're only an hour into this. I'm going to let this run a few more minutes. I'm going to call us a day. I have to, because it looks like I'm not getting the response I'm getting from this. So let's keep going.
I'll throw out a number. I'll say maybe 30%.
30%.
Yeah.
And how many women?
I have no idea. Maybe 80.
So a lot more?
Yeah.
And you think that shouldn't come up during a dating talk, huh?
I'm not saying it should. I'm saying that you
don't think
blame
that
feminism,
you don't
which by default you blame women.
So if men and
women are in the
women-
workplaces,
Men and women are so ideologically split on like almost as like a 60-20 playing field, and you don't think that that's pertinent to dating?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you blame feminism for the downfall of society.
I did not just feminism.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do blame feminists for their part of the downfall of society, yeah.
Including going to work, including going to college, including all
No,
that
the
stuff.
idea of separating mothers from children. That was the worst
By
thing
going
they
to
ever
work
did.
and going to college and...
That's a terrible idea.
Right.
Don't you think it's a better... why is it a better idea for you to send your kid to away from you to like a fucking nanny or something to raise the kid instead of you? How's that better?
I don't know.
You don't
wanna
know?
Move on?
You don't know.
Well, you can. Do you want to give a response before
No,
we?
because it's not fucking better, is it?
I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah, because it's not better, is
I'm
it?
just not going to get into it.
Yeah, because is it better though? Is
I'm
it
not gonna
better?
get into it.
Is it better to send your kid off to fucking Consuela?
Who knows? Maybe it's better for that family. I have no idea. You're making these big, broad generalizations
I just
about
wanna
how
know.
life should
I
be
just wanna
lived.
know. Do you
Maybe
think-
for some families,
Do you
for some
think
families
on
it is.
average that it would be better if mothers raise their children or outsource the raising of their children?
They're not outsourcing it. Maybe it's for part of the day, Andrew. They're
That's
working.
outsourcing it.
That's not outsourcing it because there's still the rest of the day.
Okay, so how much time on average is it that you think that mothers are spending with their children in comparison to how much they used to spend with their children before they were in the
I
workforce?
have no idea.
You don't know?
No.
What about throwing one of those numbers out? What would you think? Well, how about this? How about we'll just make it easy? More or less?
Less.
Less.
Right.
They're spending less time with them now.
Right.
Do you think that that's good?
I think each individual family has their own.
Do you think that that's good?
I think each individual family has
Do you
their
think
own.
it's good for society?
Sure.
Mothers are spending
Yes.
less. You think?
Yes.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Got it.
Well, we'll come back to that. We do need to let a couple chats come through. We have quite a few who've collected. So we have.
Let me do this because I gotta check what's going on here. Before we continue, if you guys not feeling the channel or feeling this video, let me know in the comment section below. As you know, Andrew is debating another alleged male feminist. I think that's what he goes by, and he's not really doing a good job proving his point. I'm actually disappointed. Personally, I think these people that come on to have these conversations, they come on here just to hear themselves talk. They want to prove to the female collective that I am your one and only savior. I am here to go against the big bad man, bad Andrew, bad red pillars, and it's not working. I'm just be honest, it's not really working. All right, where is it? Yeah, here it is. I'm just checking something right now, guys, because this is a long, drawn conversation. All right, I'm gonna stop here. Yeah, I think it's the right time to stop here. So instead, we're gonna go to the 12-minute mark. I don't want to hear no stupid shit. All right, we're gonna continue this with part 2. Be on the lookout. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow my social media links. They're all in the description below. Also, make sure to follow my Rumble page, CRain23 Rumble. And that's pretty much it. Thank y'all for watching. And until next time, guys. And I mean until next time. Let it chaos reign.
Man, fuck you hoes. You and your mammy and your granny too. And fuck all you hoes.
They like the chaos.
They like the chaos. So when you're able to
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
Must reign.